How's it going? So this is what? Bug Bash, RS5.
Bug Bash.
Yeah.
RS5.
Yeah, this is our second webcast in under a week, because we did one from Boston this past weekend.
Yes.
And now we're doing this one.
And you guys came back from Boston, as pointed out.
I did.
By driving to a different state that is not Seattle. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
You're going the wrong way.
Bug Bash. Uh-oh. You got to mute your volume. Yeah, this is our second webcast.
Deja vu.
That's my bad. I'm sorry, guys.
That's what happens when you connect to the room video. It throws out the audio, so you got to mute that part. Yeah, Boston was a fantastic time. So real quick, I got a question. Is anybody that's in the chat right now, were any of you able to attend any of the dev tour stops that have happened so far? Because I know there's like a couple left between now and the 30th, but
Yes.
somebody was in Munich, which is awesome. No.
There's Beijing going on.
Antwerp. Somebody's going to NYC.
Okay, cool.
Two of the ones in India. You're an overachiever. All
That's
right.
He was hanging out with Vivek, organizing both of them.
We need to go to Canada. Wait. Okay, Richard Thor. What part of Canada do we
Which
need
part
to?
of Canada?
Yeah. Do we need to do one in Vancouver? Because there was one in Toronto.
The Toronto
Sao
just
Paulo's on
happened.
the 30th, and Dublin's right around the corner as well.
Josh sent some?
Yeah, we sent Josh there.
Ooh, what's up with the video like flickering around?
But what's that all
I'm
about up
self-hosting.
there?
I'm sorry, guys. It's the Bug Bash.
This is interesting.
This is very exciting flickering.
Yeah, it should be happening.
Yeah.
You sure that's not just my computer?
No, it's actually
No,
happening
it's-
on.
Mine's
your
flickering as
We're
well.
under attack.
Yeah.
I know we are.
We're
That's
under
what it feels
attack.
like. Hold on. Let me. Whoa.
I'm flickering as well. She's ready.
You
She's
are
got a
armed.
fly swatter. Yeah. Brandon, do you want to
Interesting.
introduce Mikey?
This is gonna be fun.
Michelangelo, he's a Ninja Turtle, likes pizza.
Oh my goodness.
uses
Does he like tacos? Because the taco hat is here. in effect.
He is not a taco fan, I'm sorry. He's pizza,
Okay.
strictly pizza.
I don't know what I did, but apparently it stopped. So if you're still seeing the flickering, give it a second and it'll stop. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will. If it gets too bad, I might have to reboot, which of course, go figure. Without pineapple, that's not even a question. Are we going to have this debate again?
Oh, with pineapple.
No!
With pineapple,
No!
Yes.
So, okay.
Pineapple and pepperoni.
So before we get too far into this, right?
I'm out.
We should. Brad's like, I'm not even sharing an opinion.
Mikey is going to choose just cheese pizza.
Springfield, Missouri. I've been to Springfield, Missouri. Bass Pro Shops there is
Cheese is classic.
gigantic and it's awesome. The giant tank with all the fish in it's pretty darn cool. Milwaukee. We need to do introductions, right? Because there's a few new faces sitting around the table. On top of, depending on what webcast you have or haven't seen, there's some folks that you may or may not have met before. So Joe, I'm actually going to have you slide in, get some FaceTime, come say hi. Hey everybody.
I'm Joe.
Wow. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
And Joe's the one who makes all of our events happen.
Yes,
Yes.
Joe is the mastermind that
And
makes.
if you're an MVP, you know Joe very well because he's the one who keeps you all in line, yells at you nicely. I yell at you not nicely, he yells at you nicely.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. I'm Jason Howard, North Face Hiker on Twitter. I'm not introducing myself anymore. Everybody knows. New guy.
Yeah, William. I've been here for this is my third day.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Right.
I got a badge now. I can.
You chauffeur around campus anymore?
Yeah, I can actually open doors myself, which is fantastic.
So what are you doing around here?
Right now, just following you around.
So I will.
We're in the same place right now.
I know, right?
It's working.
This is totally making me look bad. So William's gonna be helping out with our team, doing some of the troubleshooting and stuff on Twitter. So you will see me on there, see me a little less of me, a little more of him. I don't know why the video's flickering again. This is super annoying.
Wait, I have a question. Is
yeah.
William tweeting from his own handle or from Insider?
He will be tweeting from the Insider handle.
From the Insider handle.
Yep.
Are you going to use initials at the end?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he has not started doing that yet, but you will see the little caret with some initials behind it to help differentiate between when I'm doing it, when he's doing it, and I will also have Brandon do that. So you know who you're talking to, so it's not just one random handle with a bunch of random people on it.
Yes.
The flicker.
It is bad.
Someone filed this bug, right?
Yeah, this is, I don't know why it's doing this.
So someone filed the bug, actually, and everyone upvoted. File it, put it in the feedback hub, or put the link in the chat, and everybody upvote.
See, the thing is, like, I don't want to turn the stream off. Just
Because you
it's-
don't file it.
It's annoying. but I might have
Jenna
to
BLB, can you do it, please?
just to.
I am busy.
What?
And it stopped again.
Ah, the thing.
The thing for the.
Okay, Jen, do you mind filing it and then putting the
Why don't we
link in?
just,
If I
let it
file
run its
feedback,
course.
then
Yeah,
you
if
should-
it does,
We'll just have
if
to
it
deal
does it
with it.
again, just
Oh, that's
click
right.
edge up, click edge down. Where?
You're gonna
Just
have
bring,
to do it.
just switch window. Yep, and it seems to stop it. Okay, so
Weird flickering edge.
Brandon. What's
Yo,
up?
Randall B. I'm the RS5 Bug Bash leader. So shout out to all of the insiders out there. It's about 5360 external participants in this Bug Bash. We go all the way through Monday or Sunday midnight, right? There's lots of stuff in stake. There's a chance to come and visit the campus,
Yes.
That is
sweepstakes.
true.
That's the big
And
thing.
you want to get your info into that form, your video submitted, and participate in the Bug Bash.
So, aside from being the current Bug Bash captain,
Yes.
what would you say you do around here?
That's a very good question, Brandon. What do you do around here?
Folks have been trying to figure that out for years.
No one knows yet.
Why should I
Why is he gonna tell everyone for?
tell
it?
everybody now, right? Like, let's keep
We
it-
don't actually know yet, so it's okay.
Wait. Is it changing?
It is not changing that I know of.
Oh,
A lot of stuff has been happening that I haven't known of until
After.
after the fact. But
So as of 10 a.m. when this meeting started,
as of today, I'm an engineering manager in the ENS team, Enterprise and Security.
okay.
My team specifically is all around protection. So we own identity protection, Windows Hello, the whole authentication stack, data protection, WIP, which none of you consumer insiders know about, but it's an enterprise feature for protecting data in transit, and BitLocker, which is a data at rest
Oh, yeah.
encryption scheme.
Okay.
And then a whole bunch of other policies used in enterprise for locking down, controlling apps that can run, drivers that can load, et cetera, which is the underpinnings of Windows 10s, which my team also owns, which is an amazing, super fast operating system that runs on the Surface laptop that so many of you, I hope, have bought. And that's me.
Awesome. Well, it's good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Uh,
A little
I-
groggy. It's been rough. But I'm here.
I mean, it's as we switch. Just so everybody knows, right? As we switch, different dev release cycles. RS1, RS2, RS3, 4, and obviously we're in 5 now. Yeah. pull
I've
that
done it a couple times.
And it's not doing it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm
RS5
gonna fix this stream thing. We switch who is kind of the I don't know, what's the proper term, like running the Bug Bash, like
Engineering lead, yeah.
there's always
Bug
an
Bash
engineering
lead.
lead to the Bug Bash that kind of coordinates.
The Ninja Cat Herder.
Yeah, pretty much. I like that. The Ninja Cat Herder for the Bug Bash. And so it rotates around. Last time for the last RS4 Bug Bash webcast we had, you may remember having Seth in the back of the room. Or excuse me, Matt. Seth was
Seth
before
was
Matt,
RS3.
then Matt,
That's right.
and now Randall's doing it. Sorry. I'm just too many webcasts,
Too many webcasts.
too much time.
I will say though, there's a V team behind the face of the Bug Bash leader. That's amazing. Does a ton of work. So, hats off to the V team.
Yay.
I'm technically part of that V team, but then I just show up and do the webcast. So.
He comes to plug his webcast and disappears, and then we don't hear from him again.
Plug and play, huh, Jason?
Jason, your mom also is experiencing the flickering.
Uh-oh, really?
Uh-oh.
Is
Gotta
she
fix it
watching?
now, it's your mom.
Is my mom
It's
watching?
Susan, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Hi,
hilarious.
Susan.
Yeah, so, what's up, Mom? How you doing?
Hi, Howard.
So the flickering is Jason's fault.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
Everybody say hi to my mom.
Never mind.
I've never
Susan's
had like
fault.
flickering. I was like, it's okay, it's nice. Yeah, so the flickering is Jason's fault.
Oh my goodness, yes. That's
Whoa.
wow.
There we go.
It's
I'm
full
gonna
screen
file the
mode, guys.
flickering bug.
It is full screen mode. This has existed
'Kay.
in Edge for some time.
Yes.
All right. So
It scared us all.
the flickering has stopped again.
Okay.
I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed. Donna,
Yes.
I don't know who you are. Who you are, Donna?
Hi, I don't actually know anymore. But I have brought a special guest back from Johannesburg. This is Ninja Lion.
Yay.
What?
Oh my god, he's got a little t-shirt. I
Wait, is he
want.
blindfolded?
He's got a no. That's a ninja.
That's a
band.
ninja right
Oh, it's a headband. It's like it looked like it was over his face. I was like,
Okay, so
That's what he's
He's
practicing.
wearing
I thought he was
a.
like second
He's
with the
wearing
Kings.
the Insider Dev
Insider
Tour
Dev.
thing, and he's got Visual Studio.
Studio.
back
oh,
there.
that is awesome.
Very
So
cool.
he was the swag that they handed out in Joburg. So he has come back.
How
to,
was Joburg?
Joburg was great. It was fabulous. The turnout
Hot,
was
rainy.
no, it was like here. It was like 65 degrees. But the turn up in Joburg was like 500 people.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's
Yeah,
good.
It was amazing. That was, I think, the biggest audience I saw, and also they had a lot of very interesting questions. So we're going back. We're coming back, Joburg, very soon.
Awesome.
I hope to go. Hi guys, me
Yeah.
again. I was joined you guys for the first time
Who are you?
last
Who-
Bug
yeah,
Bash. I'm Nikki.
who's me? I was about to say.
I didn't know you guys all own my intro. Sorry.
I think you need to use that fly swatter right
In
now.
charge of the community chants, who are the engineers behind processing all of your amazing feedback that you guys provide us. Specifically with this webcast being the Bug Bash, my team owns quests and content, so all of the quests that you're seeing in Feedback Hub is done by my team. I also own the badge program. There's all sorts of fun stuff that we get to do behind the scenes, and I partner pretty heavily with the Insiders team. So.
So I gotta ask, is this like a bug sprayer?
No, Randall brought this.
Yeah,
Here.
it's to
Lucky
keep
God.
it's to keep Nikki away.
What did you put in that?
It's empty at the moment. It's
At
an
the-
imaginary bug spray.
That is
I know
hilarious.
we have a lunch meeting.
I
We
know.
do have a lunch meeting, and there'll be stuff pouring out of it, perhaps.
Oh snap! All right, post Bug Bash shenanigans.
But Nikki is a
The
member
Bug
of the
Bash
V
is only
team.
half
Don't-
Yeah, of course.
Jennifer.
Yeah.
Jennifer's
Well,
V
we haven't-
team, Randall, me, and I think that's it right now. And then
At least this in the room.
Quasi-Jason.
Well, you know,
Quasi.
my name's on the list.
Jason has been mentioned.
I mean,
Yeah.
the
You get a
webcast
participation
right away.
badge.
Boom! Yes. Wait. Wait a minute.
12th place ribbon. Maybe, yeah.
Ooh, they go down that far?
Wow.
Man,
These days they.
I thought there was only 10 participants. I get in 12th place.
Yeah.
Just for you, Jason, I own that, so I can make it happen for you.
I appreciate you,
Wow.
Nikki. Brandon.
Brandon.
Wait. So who are you today? Because you're in costume
Captain
again.
Brandon.
Captain
He's
Brandon.
Captain Brandon.
Yeah.
Of
It depends on what Star Trek.
Star
Like,
Wars.
I
Whoa!
love sci-fi. I haven't slept.
I
a lot,
love
okay?
sci-fi.
I am wearing the command color of
That is
Starfleet,
command.
so that means I could be like
Because
either.
I happen to know the colors changed.
They do.
You just don't want to be red. The red guys die.
Yeah, red guys died. So I am.
Red guy.
I am Brandon.
You gotta say.
He doesn't have a last
You
name.
gotta say make it so number one to Jason.
Yeah, that's mine. I'm putting it on.
Doesn't want to be
I'm
command.
putting it on silent, so it won't vibrate anymore. Okay, we should be
Stop
good.
smacking the table.
Is that
Apparently you're
muted?
scaring.
Ooh,
Maybe that's the flicker.
turn the volume down.
What, Jason smacking the table? Yeah.
Wham.
Apparently you're
Okay.
scaring everybody.
So yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So Jen, who doesn't know the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek.
No.
I also did not know, to be fair.
It's okay.
Brandon had to
He still
explain.
doesn't know.
Okay, I don't.
Okay.
Is it the people with the ears or Luke, I'm your father? These were the questions.
Luke, I'm your father in Star Wars.
Okay, just checking.
The
But
people with the ears
Brandon
of Star
had to
Trek.
explain to me which one he
That's
was.
okay.
Although there's
Okay.
ears in Star Wars also.
Now
Chewbacca's
you're-
ears,
now
have you
you're
seen
just-
those?
Now you're just.
Oh my goodness.
Guys, I'm like half Scottish. I'm gonna go so red. Keep talking about me. Okay, so I am Jen. I should hope probably most of you know me by now, but if you don't, I am. If you have feedback for Shell, it probably will have come through me at some point. I spend most of my time looking at feedback, wrangling feedback, analyzing feedback, making things happen based on feedback, and then telling you guys about it. Yes, and cool fact about me, I don't know, I've gone through a lot. I guess this time I would say I have probably triaged and investigated over 20,000 unique pieces of feedback, or if not more. I've been doing this for 3 years, so.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get through all that stuff.
Jen is also an amazing member of the V team.
Yes, I do. I regularly, I am part of the Bug Bash V team. I also win in the Bug Bash every year.
You're a bit of a show off at times.
And when we talk about
seems.
community champs, Jennifer is always the first person that comes to everybody's mind. Oh, like Jennifer. Oh, like Jennifer. So she
Yeah.
sets the bar and
Yeah.
the example for the rest of the
Okay.
other 400-ish, 500-ish community champs that
She-
are wandering around campus.
She makes the rest of us look bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Well,
speaking of, wait. What you started a poll, Jen. What did you ask? 1 turtle, 2 turtle, 3 turtle, or 4 turtle? Which turtle's gonna win?
It's a race.
I voted 4 turtle. Everybody's voting 1 turtle. This
Oh,
is
yeah, because everyone votes 3, so you have to vote not 3 if you want to be interesting.
Oh my goodness. Much better stream. Okay, good.
Yay.
Hopefully that works some magic.
I know I'm a terrible person.
All right. So there's something interesting. So let me talk to you about builds real fast, right? Because there's Brandon. I'm actually gonna have you chime in here too, because I know you could share stuff. Hey, there's an actual bug on the table.
What? Oh, okay.
I don't know where that even came from.
Bugs are gross.
So
I mean, I love bugs, but
bugs are the best.
Oh, okay, it's Jen.
So let's talk about builds real fast. Oh,
What's going on?
go away.
Theme music?
Today's just chaotic. It's the fun of it. Yeah, it's flickering
Still
again.
flickering.
Do you want to pop edge? And
Yeah.
Try
I
that
thought
again.
rebooting was supposed to fix everything.
It's fingers crossed that it does, but it doesn't always do it.
Reboot my life.
Yeah, flicker's good. The flickering, I don't think I'm gonna be able to fix it. Sorry, I know it's annoying. I apologize. I don't know exactly what's causing it. There's no reason for it to be happening. But in the interim, I'm just gonna do that in the hopes that
If you
it
guys upload
helps.
the feedback, that's like immediate
Yes.
Yes.
participation in the bug bash.
Everyone upvote
What?
the
I don't see it.
feedback.
Did it come through?
Yeah, Donna shared it.
I shared
and,
it. I'm sharing it again. Everyone upvote the feedback.
Yes, I know. I don't care for the flicker either, and we're the ones running the stream.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, we also
Moves
don't.
fast.
So, there's been questions about builds. Obviously, the build that is in fast right now has been there for how long has it been? A week?
2 weeks.
About 2 weeks. And so we've got some questions on, hey, you're running a bug bash. Why do we not have a new build, et cetera, et cetera? And I completely get it.
Nice. Starting
it's-
the bug bash with a new build.
Yeah, and it's frustrating, and I get it. And then of course there's been the question of why doesn't Slow have a build? Because Slow is still on RS4 retail, taking those cumulative updates. They don't have an RS5 build yet. We talked about it build doing servicing for Slow, wherein if we had a fast build that was really good, but there was 1 or 2 bad bugs in it that would prevent it from going to Slow, that we were going to pull it into a servicing branch, make some updates to it, and then get it pushed out. We have a build that is prepped and ready for Slow. However, given that we have not used servicing for the Slow ring in, 2 years, it's been a long time. Given all the changes that have happened to the update stack as well as changes made on the engineering side, as we were building the updated build for Slow, we found some problems in the servicing pipeline. So technology and stuff is being updated there. Once we get that ironed out, you will be able to get a build for the Slow ring. So for all of those of you out there who are trying to take the build in that ring, I apologize for you not having one yet. We are working very, very diligently for that. As you can imagine, it's super important for us to get one out to you. But from the concept of the fast ring, right? What's the point of having a bug bash and having an old build in it, right?
That's correct.
So I got a little something that's happening. The taco hat was nothing more than a decoy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what's up. So
There's a reason he wasn't wearing it.
Yeah.
He had to resist.
Yes.
I know it hasn't shown up
It
yet.
hasn't
Okay.
shown up on their stream yet.
The dramatics of Jason don't work as well on the lagging stream.
Yeah, I know that part's frustrating.
Oh,
There it is.
Heyo.
Hey.
All right.
Guys, my heart's starting to race.
So, if you saw the photo that I tweeted out last night from the Insider handle on Twitter, you would have noticed there was a little kind of a cheater on the corner down on the bottom, which was a random red button that I stole off the internet that had the appropriate, licensing usage on it, of course. And so, I don't know. Is it about time, Brandon? Should we hit the button?
Who I think.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We shouldn't hit the
Not
button.
yet. Okay,
Not
so
yet.
all this dramatics, by the way.
Yeah, I know, right? It's up to Brandon.
More rehearsal
He
next
was
time.
supposed to start when I gave him
I was
the
gonna say,
dolphins.
I thought there was supposed to be
There was a bug
signal.
code, so like
Maybe
there's
next
wait,
time
wait.
Brandon.
Brandon.
The button.
I'm relying on Brandon, but
All right, everyone. This is what
haven't been
happens when Brandon and Jason have a scheme.
yeah,
themselves.
we scheme and it either comes together really well,
or
it works so horribly it's not even funny.
or the scheme's off by one error over here. So yeah,
Whatever.
guys.
Leave no Windows device behind.
Yeah,
The
baby.
world together.
Oh,
Wow.
button is pressed. Go check for updates.
How much time did you put that?
This,
No, it's too late.
I think I got
that,
nothing.
that's Gabe's button. That's the button that's been around.
Has it always said that?
It changes what it says.
Yes.
Every time you launch a new build, you unlock it and smack it, and it changes and says something different.
I have no
It's like
idea.
in German. Oh, you've never seen them do this?
I mean,
thing?
I've watched
Yeah.
it.
Is it
but-
Yeah.
localized?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's legit.
Is it localized?
Can I keep tapping?
No, it's just.
No, don't do
It's
that.
just English.
It's just
It's
English.
gonna do
Yeah.
something weird.
We should next
We should
add a feature to like
switch languages on there.
switch languages. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see here. If you are not getting video, turn low latency off.
All of you who are asking
In your
if
settings.
there's a build, yes, that was the point
Yes.
of the dramatics.
Yes, the build is now out.
Build is out.
Is it instantaneous?
Well, it's available instantaneously.
Relatively speaking, yes.
I don't understand the speed of light.
Go, Richard.
Jason has
Got
zero
it right
timing.
now.
Thanks,
All right,
Richard. I
Richard got it.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Is there a post blog? Yes, there is
Thanks,
a
Kevin.
blog
We
forthcoming.
don't publish the blog post until we get enough numbers of like download scans, and right
Mhm.
now we're currently at 8. So
not yet.
Yeah, so the faster y'all check for updates, and then we know
Faster
people
we'll
are actually
post the
getting the
blog.
build, the faster we'll publish the blog post. That's one of the things that I don't think we've ever actually talked
I don't
about
think
that.
so, yeah. Mhm.
So I'm gonna talk about it real quick.
Yeah, that's
When we publish a new build,
No.
right, it gets out, it's sitting on the Woo server, and we flip it live.
Actually, I will
Um,
if you send me the link.
We wait until we see a few people that have downloaded it, it's
Jesus.
downloading successful to make sure that the deployment's going to start working as expected. And then we'll go out and post the blog post, we go out and make our notifications and everything. So, who will get the reboot prompt first? Ooh, that's a good question. Prepping to install 57. It's like a race inside the chat. This is fun. So yeah, that's how that whole process works. And the flickering is back. I apologize.
I'm too excited to focus on the flickering right now.
I know.
You guys, you haven't
I'm
seen
still
the flight
trying to
notes
write a
yet.
tweet. Okay.
Can I tell them? The flight notes are 23 pages long.
For this flight?
But in defense of that though. So
No,
this-
it's
this-
not a bad thing. What
No,
are
no,
you
no,
in defense
no,
of?
no,
It's
no,
a-
no, no, no. So yeah.
Who
so,
hates long flight notes?
So,
number one?
Who likes knowing what's in the build? Are you going to
Number one,
complain
we
about
like
knowing what's in the build?
From the build that we thought was going to go live last
Exactly.
week.
I
So,
mean, they didn't know that.
well, of course they did.
It's
Like,
2 weeks of
what's
awesomeness.
the audience like 2
My
weeks?
point I was trying to get to is the 2 weeks of
I was
awesomeness.
gonna say,
Yes.
Exactly.
Alright, his point is we have not been twiddling our thumbs. We actually have a ton of stuff for you to check out.
AKA.ms/flicker.
Oh my god.
That's next week's blog post link, Brandon.
So this week's is Jason is aka.ms/jasons-build.
Jason's build.
This is Jason's.
This is my build?
Yeah.
This is your build.
Aw.
You know who it's not?
That's what you
The
jumped
weird
about.
guy who works downstairs. It's not that guy's build. Thanos.
No, Thanos
Oh.
is-
Yeah.
Thanos
Not
Thanos is
Thanos.
coming. Thanos was already here.
Yeah,
Thanos
is
has left the
aware,
building.
He's, in the corner,
He's
etc.
on vacation.
And finally, so I didn't know Thanos is not a real guy. I thought he was the weird guy downstairs who does the crunches on the mat, on the cardboard. But not that guy. It was a different guy.
Thank you for posting the blog link, Richard. We appreciate it.
Okay, what's happening?
Echo.
Come on, Brandon.
Echo.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. Nice. All right, reboot, install 100%. I love it when stuff goes according to plan, at least mostly. So,
This has been, sorry everyone, this has been a timing
yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, at least half of the where's my build concerns are resolved now. What I said earlier before this build went out about the slow ring is absolutely true. Again, I on behalf of the engineering team and everybody working on servicing and updates, we feel your pain, we understand your frustration, and know that it's just as important to us to get the build out to the slow ring as it is for those of you in the slow ring who want to build. And I give you my word that we are working very diligently on that. So
Yes.
please be a little more patient.
We're harassing all the right people.
We're working hard.
Do we have bribery to get people into fast?
I mean, if you want to switch from the slow ring to the fast ring to take the build, you can do that.
I would do that today.
Just know what's up, right? Fast ring is fast ring.
Fast
So.
string is faster.
Down to
Read,
five
read,
drinks.
yeah,
Right.
read the blog notes and see if this build's ready for you.
If it's ready for you.
Talk to your doctor and see if this is right for you.
Whoa!
Side effects.
Side effects, there we go.
Jason's mom, do something.
Side effects may include unexpected bugs,
Wow.
reboots, installation issues. No, I'm totally
Wow.
kidding.
Don't touch someone to make a meme.
Why are you doing this?
Because it's funny.
You know, I hang out on Reddit, right?
yes, and I totally would love to see a meme about this. Insider
That
all.
would be funny, actually.
Side effects include.
Going back
If somebody
to
makes a
that.
meme, you have to send it to Jen, send it to me, put it on Twitter, whatever. I
Do
would
not
love to
tell
see
our
it.
management because everyone is unemployed then. Okay.
I don't want to get fired, so don't make it that bad. Just make
Wow.
it funny. So real quick, as part of recent builds, the Feedback Hub team has made a change to the Feedback Hub. They have already put out their app in flighting through the app flighting system. And if you are on recent fast ring builds, you will get to see this. So I'm actually going to demo for you real quick. And I'm going to spare you my usual feedback rant because I get to actually show you some changes in the Feedback Hub. So, this is the rant about, hey, file feedback. So let me pull this up and I can show you in just a moment.
Ooh, the Edge beta thing is there.
It is.
Okay, so,
Insiders, you should check out the Edge beta
let me
thing.
see here. That one.
The icon's been updated.
Yes.
I actually kind of think it looks good.
I like it.
I don't
We
like.
should- we
I
should
think
keep
it's
it,
really
yeah.
pretty.
Perpetuity, Edge, beta.
Think.
I really like pretty things.
This
I'm
is
not ashamed of it.
interesting. I might have to switch demo inputs. We'll see what happens here in a moment. I'm
Let's see.
produced by another application. Perfect. Okay, it's supposed to be. Oops. We're gonna get this to work. Today's apparently the day of technical glitches, which is not making my life
So
easy.
apparently you guys did a good job in Boston, says Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Oh wait, what are you doing right now? I just realized that I was like, ooh, Reddit.
I am working on trying to get the demo thing set up, but I might have to switch back to the other one.
Okay.
So I'm gonna. You have a moment if there's something you need to do. I'm going to.
Look, I drew a picture of a cat with a bug.
You do like pretty things.
I mean, it's not my best work.
So let's
Where's the
remove the
camera?
pro. Switch back to this one. Okay.
Let's see if you can see it.
Okay. So
This is what we were doing. He was trying to fix
Remove
stuff.
this one. Switch back to this one.
I drew dumb,
Okay.
a dumb
Oh,
stick
did
figure.
you talk about the
Okay.
bug desktop?
So.
Bug desktop.
Yeah,
Let's
the
change
unique
that
cat
just a
desktop.
smidge.
Bug
Okay.
participation, bug
Oh.
bash desktop. Oh, it's on the back of your.
They'll see it when they're ready.
Okay. All right. So now we're gonna switch over, and I'm gonna show you. I'm actually gonna show you the demo now. You can go flip the full screen demo.
Full screen demo?
Yep. Apparently I'm launching Solitaire on accident, which is fun. And apparently I'm launching casual games now, which is super fun. So let's pull up Feedback Hub. So there's my glorious mug in here. I don't know how many people have been in there for the Bug Bash so far. If you haven't been, you should be, because this is where all the awesomeness takes place. There's tons of new quests in here, so if you haven't run those, come check those out. But you'll notice a couple things on the main homepage. There are 2 new buttons here, reporting a problem and suggesting a feature, which that just gives you kind of quick link access to it. It was one of the features that the Feedback Hub team received and had a lot of feedback requests for. So again, more of your feedback in action. But interestingly enough, if you come and click the feedback tab, and you click add new feedback, this is completely different. And this is awesome. So instead of it being a giant page full of boxes and kind of randomness, right, which all of it was very relevant information, but some of it had to do with what order you would process things in. It is now a kind of like a workflow waterfall type perspective, where you just start at the top, summarize your feedback, screen flicker on the Beam machine while broadcasting.
What build is this computer on?
There you go.
Jason.
17692.
Is it trying to download the new build while you're streaming? Because that could be kind of funny and weird.
I don't know. Let's find out. All right. Well, it's not doing it right now, and I'm not going to make it start because I don't want the lag that could potentially happen. So then, just as you would normally do, right? Put in a bunch of detail. So lots of screen flicker broadcasting out to mixer, right? So then you click next. Then it brings up what you would normally see in the past at the top. So is it a suggestion or a problem? But one of the really cool things is some of the awesome machine learning that is going in right here because you notice how it's already bucketed down to device and drivers and then display drivers, right? Because it understands based upon the wording that I'm using with like screen flicker and things like that. It's doing some intelligent stuff. It may not get it exactly right, but that's okay. If it doesn't get it quite right, go ahead and change it, because that will help train the algorithm how to better support the statements that you as a user are writing, so that all insiders together help teach the ML that's running the feedback hub. So it is definitely devices and drivers, and I'm going to leave this one particularly on display drivers because I'm not exactly sure what the cause is. If it happens to be something different, we can recategorize it on the backside. It does give you a few options here of potential items, right? So number one is the one that it filled in, desktop environment, all other issues, and then install and update. So again, it's still doing some learning, right? But this will get better over the course of time, so I'm going to leave that there. Click next, and this is where you see another new box of additional details, and it says, how does this problem impact your experience? Which, that wasn't something that ever existed before. It was left to you as an end user, as an insider, to say, kind of in the text, be like, hey, this is keeping me from being productive at work, or it's keeping me from listening to music, or whatever the scenario may have been. Now you can actually rate how bad the bug is, from one just being a minor issue, like, hey, it's kind of annoying, but it doesn't stop me, it doesn't actually break my machine. And on this, and obviously on the high end, a 5 would be it's a completely broken or unusable experience. In this circumstance, this particular screen flicker, I personally would give it a 3. Like, it's annoying, but it's not keeping us from broadcasting. It's not preventing me from seeing what's on the screen completely, because it's kind of intermittent back and forth. So I would kind of throw it in the middle of the pack. And then the options that have always existed, or at least for the past year or so, between attaching screenshots, attaching a file if you want to add up some dump log, some log dumps or whatnot, or if you want to recreate the problem itself, which you've gone through that experience before, you can still do each of those things. If you want to save your logs locally, you can do that, and then of course you would go through and submit the feedback, and that would be that. I'm not going to submit this one because, as was done earlier, there is a feedback for this, and I don't want folks to have to go through and dupe this feedback to the other feedback and all that kind of stuff, so I'm not going to recreate that. But that is the new experience. But one of the interesting things is, previously, if you had started a piece of feedback and then you close the feedback hub or navigate it away or whatever, it wouldn't save your progress. One of the features that is coming, that as you can see right now, it's not doing it. One of the features that is coming, I'm probably leaking this too early.
I think Devin already shared it.
Okay, so maybe I'm not leaking it. Okay, I hadn't seen that he had. Is going to kind of save in time, kind of like when you're like typing in OneNote, and if you close the app and you bring it back up, it had everything that you had because it kind of saves along the way in real time. That functionality is coming for the Feedback Hub. I don't have it in this particular version of the build of that app yet, but it will be popping in soon. So just know that that's coming. So would love to get your feedback. Hey, would you mind throwing in a poll and asking people if they like the new thing? I'm sure there's some bless the 1 to 5 rating. Nice. I would love it. Like Jen's awesome is going to throw in a poll real quick. I would love to get your just kind of quick feedback on what you think of the new experience. Of just kind of a I like it or I don't like it type stuff. And if you have some more explicit comments on, well, not explicit as in bad language, but more detailed comments.
Jason's mom is on.
My mom is
No
like,
bad
what is my
language.
son trying to do to these people? If you have some more detailed comments, feel free to share them here in the chat. I will gather them and share them with the Feedback Hub team, or you can share them to the Windows Insider handle, or to me, or to Brandon, or Jen, or Donna on Twitter later. Happy
Show
to.
the draft thing.
It is not in this build yet for some reason. I know that it's coming.
That's awesome.
But yes.
I've lost feedback before. Having a draft is amazing.
Yeah, because you get like 200 words into it, and then all of a sudden you lose it, and you're like, what?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about that feature. I was gonna say I mentioned it because I thought it was in this particular build. It's not. So it'll be there soon. But if you're in the slow ring, I'm just gonna tell you like it is, right? You're not on RS5, so you won't have this yet. But we will get a build out to slow ring. We will get this particular Feedback Hub application update to the slow ring after that occurs. So if you're in the slow ring, be patient. As soon as we get some more awesome RS5 goodness to you, then we will have this out to you. I'm going to take a moment and read through some of the chats here. Like the background. I know Brandon actually created this background of the Jurassic Park thing.
No. Michael Gillette did that.
Gillette did this one?
Yeah.
Oh, you just stuck it on my
I just
machine.
put it on your
Oh,
machine.
yeah, sorry. I'm giving Brandon credit for something that one of the insiders did.
No,
Insider
I-
Michael Gillette. I don't know if you're in the stream right now, but if you are,
He's also
awesome
an MVP.
background.
He's also an MVP. Just throw it out.
That's right. He is an MVP. Joe's giving the shout outs here. Giving credit where credit is due. I love it. Feedback Hub. I'm voting in the Feedback Hub poll. I'm giving it. Ooh, so only 2% of people have given the not so happy face. If you gave a not so happy face, I would love to know what you don't like about the experience. That would be super helpful to know. I'm not being sarcastic in saying that. I would love to know.
Sarcasms for later in the meeting.
Sarcasms for everything except this one little tidbit here. Wonder where we can get the background. Brandon, do you have a link to? Because I know Michael puts all of his stuff up on his OneDrive
Yeah, it's a
account.
OneDrive.
Yeah.
No, actually, he actually has a website. You pull it up.
Yeah, let's give him a little. Oh, and Richard to the day again. Man, Richard, you are on top of things today. Richard's Winobs, by the way. He's in chat. He is like knocking it out the park.
I was hit by a bug where all of my favorites are gone and they haven't come
Oh,
back.
that bug.
So,
I don't think we flighted that. It
No.
only impacted
it only
internally.
impacted internal, and I.
So I'm not going to say your entire screen name because it leads into something interesting.
What?
So Mata, the design is meh. If you can give some details on why you think it's meh, I would love to hear it. Did I try the new build on my PC? No, since we're broadcasting right now, I don't want to install the update on it yet, because the stream machine, the Beam machine, is on the fast ring.
I do have it on this PC.
Okay, then
I have it on my PC.
yeah. So if there's questions you have about the new build that we can answer, because obviously there's a few folks that have it installed already here, just let us know, and we'll be able to tackle those questions along the way.
We could show you like some of the cool new animations and stuff.
I know C# Fritz. I know, right? It's totally.
But you also see all the
The
other
Beam
stupid
machine.
things on this computer.
Well, that's the thing is like when we built the Beam machine, it was still Beam. Microsoft hadn't acquired them. It hadn't become Mixer and all that kind of fun stuff. So I kind of lovingly renamed it from Beam Machine to Stream Machine. But those who've been in the program for a while, back, because that was just over a year ago. Mixer just had their 1-year anniversary just before E3. So it's almost a month ago. Yeah, they just hit a year. So the Beam Machine, we built that, and that was March of last year. So it's like 15 months old. I feel like it's my child. It's 15 months old.
Has everyone in the stream seen the rainbow colors before? I mean, it depends on what set of people are here, right?
Yeah.
But we could have a seance by the light of the Beam machine.
If it wouldn't totally screw up the webcam, I would flip it around. But yeah, I do love the colors in there. And just as a random shout out, AKM/Beam Machine. If anybody wants to see all the stuff that went to that build, I just dropped it in chat so you can check it out. So knowing that this is the Bug Bash, how many quests do we have in there? Just a rough count. I'm not looking for a specific number.
Over 200.
Yeah.
So
So the final
Yeah.
quests are being launched today. So
Okay.
within probably the next hour, hopefully the system renders appropriately. All of the quests will be available.
Okay.
So we do it in 4 waves. We release
Yep.
Friday, give the weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the rest of the week we ask that everyone just continues to Bug Bash, find quests that sound interesting to you.
Mhm.
We'll do our daily announcements as we have been and highlight some of the quests that we're looking for some more attention on. So check the Feedback Hub.
Yep.
Usually by noon Pacific time, the announcement will be there with links.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So.
So earlier, Randall, you mentioned the Insiders to Campus contest.
Yes.
You want to share some details about that?
Nikki has all the details.
Nikki, fine, and Nikki.
to qualify to come to campus, all you need to do, essentially, it's the same criteria to earn this badge, enters you in, or qualifies you for the Insiders to Campus. There's an actual application process. I believe, Joe, I think you're on that team. It's, I think, like under a 2-minute video to say why you love insidering and what it means to you. And it goes into our team, and I think we'll select the winner by September, and then the plan is
Okay.
October-ish. It'll be up to 10 winners that will come to campus. And
Oh,
it'll
wow.
be, yeah.
So it's not even just like one winner. There's gonna be like a group
Yeah.
of people that.
Posse.
Yeah.
Wow.
The insider posse comes
You get to be on
campus.
campus.
My posse's on campus.
Our posse's on campus.
If you check out the Feedback Hub
We should give
announcements.
Mix a lot to do
Check out the Feedback Hub announcements. I think I've made note of it in each announcement as a reminder. So you can click the link, you can see the video, you can see all the program details and how to officially apply for it.
And that link is where?
It's
I
in the
missed that.
Feedback Hub.
Okay.
Announcements.
And it's
page.
also
Beautiful.
on the Windows Insiders page under, looks like it's, there it is, right there. So who, are you projecting that?
No, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm doing secret stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I can't sit focused to the text box. That's a problem. Oh, no, it's good. Never mind.
Hey Joe, if you want to put the demo thing back up real quick, I'll just
Yeah.
show everybody the link. So I'm gonna help y'all shortcut because I know there's a lot of announcements in here, which is all good stuff. So read all the announcements. But if you go to the Bug Bash beat from June 25th, down at the bottom, P.S. Don't forget, and win a trip up to Microsoft headquarters, right? And there's the link right here to go get more details on it.
Okay.
It's
So,
awesome.
yeah, I think this hasn't happened, I don't think, like in 3 years, so it's kind of a big deal.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, it's exciting. We're trying to plan out, it's gonna be about, I think, 2 or 3 days here on campus. You'll be meeting execs and the insider team and touring campus. We'll have some stuff lined up for you guys.
Man, if
Touring the cool parts of campus too,
Yeah.
like the Home of the Future and stuff like that.
oh
You're
yeah.
not gonna go to Studio X. It's not. Sorry.
Building 109 is where it's at.
And Jen's making,
Oh.
Jen's making dessert.
Yes, I
Oh.
will bake something. I will bake something for the people who come.
And if I don't know the dates that folks would be here on campus, but if it's a Tuesday, we can go celebrate Teriyaki Tuesday together.
Oh,
I would happily toss out and buy everybody lunch. Like I will pocket that myself just because it's awesome. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Wow.
But
Cool.
we need more. Everybody out there in the fast ring, file a bug. There's plenty of
This
them.
was it.
Yeah. I mean,
There are
it's,
no shortages.
and that's one of the really fun things about the town. I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, so you file feedback, do a quest,
Uh-huh.
and be on.
Just send in a
the
short
right
video clip.
builds.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
and-
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
and
Be on
there's
the right
application
bills
process.
first, right?
That's
There's
the
the in bill,
qualifiers.
then there's the file feedback, upvote feedback, etc. After doing a quest, or you don't even have to do a quest. The quest
Yeah.
is just a guidance, right?
Yeah.
Or do
Yeah,
you
you,
have to
yeah,
do
you have to do a quest, file the feedback. Yeah,
Okay.
And be on the latest build.
Got it. So file,
Okay.
do the quest, file feedback, file tons of feedback that aren't even quests as well, because there's plenty of them.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
quests are really there to like help inspire you, but if you
Yes.
find an issue somewhere else, especially if it's something that's totally new for this release, like we want to make sure that when the build goes to production, everyone in retail gets the best possible experience. So
That's right. And these quests were created by Microsoft Windows engineers.
Yep.
Features that they own, scenarios that
Yeah.
they own, that they
They
want
have
to get
posted,
coverage
like,
on. They
30
want
of
your
them.
opinions and they want your thoughts.
Or
So-
Nikki was like, the deadline is Friday, and I was like, have 100 on Friday. I'm sorry.
I have a feeling it's gonna happen again.
Probably. That's right. We have another bug bash as well.
We do
But-
have another one.
Richard, thank you for all your help. I see that you're checking out of the stream. I really appreciate you sharing the links and hooking us up along the way. Your fingers fly faster than mine on the keyboard. So don't have too much fun at the, was it dentist, oral surgeon? What did I?
Oral surgeon.
The oral surgeon.
Do
Ooh,
people have
Ooh.
bugs there?
man, I feel you, man.
Is
Ouch.
this recorded, Jason?
This, yes. Oh yeah.
Oh, good. So we can grab your clip. I missed it of hitting the big button.
Oh yeah. We got
Awesome.
it.
I'm gonna make a clip. I just
You gonna make one ready for tonight?
when the VOD is up, yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it usually shows
I
up
wanna
a
put
couple
that in
hours
the-
after we
in the
finish the
flash.
stream. Yeah. So, hey, Brandon, do you want to talk about when sets will be available to all insiders?
I wish. Wait,
I don't want to be in the screen while Brandon gives
let
me
take
daggers.
A picture of his face
Oh my
right
goodness.
now.
Oh goodness.
CLB.
I got it.
Everything I want to say is in the blog post.
Okay, so
So that's
no additional commentary other than what's in the blog post.
Oh, we'll have commentary. But it'll be after
It needs to be appropriate for my mom because she's watching.
Friendly commentary.
Can you say it to my mom?
No, it will be after the webcast. We will have commentary.
Okay, Mom, I'm saving your ears on this one. Yeah, no leaks. Well, we try not to make leaks because we don't want PR coming and yelling at us. So hopefully we try not to do anything to get in trouble around here. And Donna doesn't have bail monies for us, so we don't want to go to jail
I'm
either.
the
She
one
spent
that
it all on Vivek, didn't she?
Oh
And
yeah.
I would just.
I'm the one that gets in the most trouble. Here. I've been in all that trouble.
Although Vivek could have actually gone to jail yesterday. That was kind of an awesome story.
Almost detained.
Yeah, that's kind of an awesome story.
Oh well.
I thought
Yeah,
it was just
that's like
the-
literal jail.
Okay.
Um,
I won't ask. Yeah, I guess this is the Bug Bash webcast. My question to insiders: did you have any questions about any of the
Yeah.
features that we've been working on? I mean, there have been a ton, right? So like, we have the whole cloud clipboard stuff. We have all the new snipping experience things. We have a dark theme file explorer.
Yes.
We have a ton of cool things for Edge. If you guys install 17.704, you can finally stop autoplay in Edge. That is now a feature that Edge offers. I know it's
We
a
accidentally
huge feature
pre-announced it,
request.
but now you can actually do it.
now it's a legit
Kyle got
thing.
a little excited and jumped the gun.
All right, hold on. Oh, I'm not on the new build on this machine.
Do you want it? Do you want it?
Do you want to demo it?
I mean, I don't know.
It's just a
Autoplay.
it's
It
just
was
a
like,
setting. It's not.
not
the-
autoplay.
I don't know. It's a feature that I'm super excited about because there's not much that's aside from getting bombarded by ads on websites. There's not much more annoying than when you click a website link, you go to read an article, and then somewhere on the page where you can't see, there's a little in-page video
Where
player
is the
that's
video?
and it's super bad with like news sites. Like, oh, I want to read this interesting article, and all of a sudden you're like, today at 5 o'clock we're gonna have an story, blah 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 blah, and you're like scrolling down the page as fast as
Where
you
is
can
this thing?
to try to pause it or stop it or whatever.
I
Yeah.
actually really
Works best when you're in a
appreciated
meeting.
the ability to right click on an Edge tab to mute. So I've been able to just do that really
You know,
quickly.
you can just click the volume icon.
That too, whatever. I just
It's
don't.
easy.
The other thing that's in this build or coming out as part of this build is Skype is getting a redesign for Windows 10. It is awesome. The team's been doing a lot of hard work trying to kind of put a lot of effort into making the Skype app on Windows 10 great. They have still a lot more work to do, but this is just the beginning, and they'll be pushing out store updates for it, but you should check that out too.
Somebody asked a good question that I don't specifically know the answer to. I can make an assumption, but so DJ Lord Cabbage. It's just a funny screen name.
That's different.
It's like I like the new settings page for Edge, but it still seems odd that it's a flyout where it comes in from the side. Curious for that design choice.
I don't know the context behind that. I think Jason and I should ping the Edge folks and get them to come to one of these.
Yeah.
That we're gonna take that as a piece of feedback to get them to talk about it. I don't know why they chose that. I know they have weighed in doing a settings page like what Chrome does, where it's in the actual window versus having it fly out. But
Almost like it pops open, like Firefox pops open a tab and you can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
kind of like a web
Okay.
page, but I mean, for now they want to keep it all integrated into the UI like that because of the way like the hub and navigating between your bookmarks and reading list, and it just seems a little bit more like coherent. And so I think that they're trying to make things less jarring, but that's yeah. Oh, Kyle is in the
Oh, yeah.
and Kyle just said exactly what I just said. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So
Hi, Kyle.
hi Kyle,
He's
we love
not
you.
green. He should be green.
Yeah. I need to.
We can make the green happen.
Yeah, I need to look up the line command to make Kyle green.
I can just click his face. Oh,
Said more
and
settings are coming.
I can ban him. Cal, I'm sorry, you're not worthy.
Hey, real quick, since I don't know if Kyle's joined one of our chats before, one of the
No,
webcasts.
He was
So
supposed to be at one in April, but it didn't happen.
yeah.
So never mind.
So Kyle is one of the awesome folks who works on Edge. Listens to your feedback. Listens to a lot of your feedback. Works to make that application, better every iteration that they go through. Great to have you here. He's also on Twitter. I believe his Twitter handle is the same as what you see here in chat. Yeah, there we go. He just put it in chat. You can tweet me at Kyle Alden, which is awesome. See, that's one of the, that's right. The other handle that the Edge team uses is at MSEdgeDev. Good stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's like, what questions do you have about the recent builds? Or is there any really bad bugs that you've hit that you have submitted feedback on that have not gotten the attention you think that it deserves?
I would say if you guys haven't seen the list of fixes for 17704,
yeah, check the blog post because you just might not have the build where your bugs are fixed in. But I would still love to see the feedback. Like if there's something specific, and that's one of the things we always do in the Bug Bash is like, hey, what has not gotten the attention that you think it deserves? If you have something like that, post it here in the chat so that number one, your fellow insiders, if they're experiencing the same bug, they can go and do some upvoting. Number two, we can compare it because we just launched the new build. And number three, if it's not fixed yet, it's things that we can go through and go nudge some teams and be like, hey, we got some folks who are concerned about a particular bug, and we would like to work on that.
So the flight's going out. It has start menu fixes. It has Cortana fixes. It has audio fixes. It has Bluetooth fixes. It has narrator improvements and fixes, and more. Like after we finish this webcast, I'm going to have to go back to the feedback hub and update all my. I've been sharing some of the older feedback recently just to clean things up, get them into the right parents, and I feel like because people get, I don't know if you guys know, you should know, but whenever I triage, about 20 minutes later, you guys should get a notification stating the changes that I've made to all the feedback, and I have to wonder all these insiders that are like, what, it's been added to a collection, it was fixed in the anniversary update, what's going on? But I just want to make sure you guys have a clean as possible feedback hub experience. So it's
Someone
really
mentioned the
reasonable.
Twitter PWA issue going blank. I'm experiencing that as well.
Yeah.
They're
They'd give it.
investigating that.
That's a new one. Any difference between Home Insider and Pro Insider? The difference between the Home and Pro builds of Windows. So, let me answer this.
There's a few key features.
There's the difference between the features available in the OS itself.
Correct.
But as for how you interact and participate as an insider, they're exactly the same. You can still file feedback. You can run quests. Your feedback hub is still there. The registration process is the same. The signals that we send back out for, hey, we fixed feedback, we fixed your feedback, you getting notifications, the emails that go to the groups, all of that's all the same. So really, again, the only difference between Home and Pro is just which build of Windows are you running and which features are available in each of the particular builds. That's it.
Home doesn't have some features like I think
Domain join.
Domain join.
BitLocker is there. It's weird. It's not auto encrypt, but
Okay.
but there's a website. On the website, you can, I can't remember the URL, but you can sort of see side by side Home, Pro, and Enterprise in terms of the differences in checkboxes. I can find that real quick.
Yeah.
We can post it.
It looks like sometimes we have bugs that only impact specific editions.
That's right.
Yeah.
But most of the time,
Enterprise and
it's
Pro
off
are very,
and on
very
and off
close,
Pro.
but Home is the one that's slightly different. There's some stuff not available.
Oh, here we go. I got it.
We found it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm actually going to post it in chat so you can go check it out firsthand. So again, as an insider, really it's just if you can use a particular feature that's in Windows or not. But as for participating in the program, nope, you're good. Doesn't matter which edition they're on. Windows Central in the house. What's up, y'all?
They mentioned the store issue. I was actually just looking at feedback about that. It didn't have a picture tied to it. But I was saying, in some regions, the store is missing a component. on the main page.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I was gonna go poke Mark and then Kat about it.
All right. And then moving UWP apps between drives has a bug.
Feedback it.
Yeah, it's right here. It's Neela Rita already dropped the feedback link. So, thanks for the link. We will absolutely check it out.
Grasping Sword 01, are you having keyboard issues?
Or are you a bot and need to be banned?
Yeah.
Because I will
We will
happily.
do that.
Sometimes my keyboard ends up like that when my cats
Destroy them.
Boop. Problem solved.
when my cats walk across the keyboard or when I fall asleep on my face and my face presses the keys, then that's what my tendency is.
Done.
He knows, but he barks at him.
All right. So the bot has been removed from chat. Hyper-V question, edges, dislike the Edge UI.
Well, if you dislike the Edge UI, constructively file feedback. Let us know. Like, hey, go in there and just write, hey, here are a few things that I don't like about the Edge UI and why. Kind of give descriptions. The team loves to hear that kind of stuff. So, definitely put that in feedback on.
I would say, the Edge team has been updating the UI. Like, even today, like, the
Yeah.
setting,
If you dislike it, just tell us why and just be constructive about it. Like, that's great feedback. We want
Very
Edge to
true.
be better.
Yeah, file it as a
That's what we want.
suggestion.
Let's see. Buckster, if you have a multi-monitor machine, which my Surface Book is usually hooked up to multiple monitors at my desk, can you check this start menu issue? Looks like you sent a Twitter link as well as something from OneDrive. I'm assuming it's probably a repro video. If you have a feedback link for that particular issue to include with it, send it on over. I will do some research later at my desk. Happy to. And somebody else has a dual 1080 PS that's going to test it out. Awesome. If your stream is stuck, DS Blair ABC, mouse over the lower right corner of the stuck video, click settings, and then uncheck the box for low latency, and that will fix you up. It'll immediately catch up.
The new Skype update is only going to be in fast, not RP, and I believe it's also going to be tied to certain build numbers, so you may not see it in RP for a while.
Yep. Yeah.
Just answer.
Yeah, when apps get pushed out either to the store itself or via the app preview ring, because there's the app insider program, they have the ability to set a minimum build, because sometimes changes made within an app require certain foundational changes that have been made in a particular build of the operating system. So to take advantage of some of those new features, you have to be on a specific min build of the OS. That is often what happens. Same thing with the feedback hub.
I just saw in the comments someone asking for a picture-in-picture for Edge. I would love that so much. I don't know if you guys know, 2 months ago, Netflix finally added compact overlay support.
I use that all the
And
time.
I don't know if my productivity's gone down or through the roof, but I love it.
What is it?
Basically, it means that I can now just constantly be watching TV, always on top. I can be gaming and
Oh,
have a
I see.
little always on top video. I can be triaging and have a little always on top video.
Yeah,
It's
Netflix.
just really nice to not have to
It's better to do
fiddle
this
with
in
screens.
Windows 98.
Someone's asking about dark mode for control panel. We aren't going to be investing in any UI changes like that for control panel because everything is being migrated over to the settings app. And if you go into the settings app and enable Windows-wide dark mode, you'll get the settings app in dark mode as well. So it's technically there already for the settings app. So I wanted to answer that question.
Cool. That was actually one of the interesting topics that came up as in our visit to the dev tour in Boston was, the control panel versus settings, why some stuff is in one place versus the other, why some stuff was in both places at the same time, at least for a brief period of time as builds transitioned.
A lot of work goes into because a lot of that is very legacy, hardcore code into the OS, and so migrating those settings as well as device app compatibility, there we go. You know, all that kind of stuff, they have to weigh that in, and so it's been a multi-release cycle to get, you know, a lot of those settings transitioned away from control panel, but at some point, yeah, control panel will go away and you'll have the settings out.
That's funny. It would have been easier to build out control panel then, right? Not necessarily control.
No.
Control panel had that very old. This is completely subjective in my opinion, right? Control panel had that very old technical style feel to it, where you had to know what specifically was where to go in and click and find and make adjustments and changes. In everything that's been migrated into settings so far, it's kind of been redesigned and put into more intuitive type buckets. And then, of course, with the integration where with the search box and Cortana and all that, you can just go start typing whatever it is you want to adjust. Like I want to adjust brightness or display settings, or I want to go and find device management, anything like that. And it automatically understands where that launch would be within the OS. You know,
That's been the biggest innovation for the settings.
Yeah.
It's more wizardy.
Yeah.
A wizard is like a step through.
And with all
Control panel has several revisions where they tried to get more intuitive, but in some places it was made worse.
Yeah.
They tried to move stuff around because people had gotten used to the old way.
It used to be here. Where'd you move it?
Now with the search box, that's money, right? Because that
Yeah.
finds everything.
Because of the legacy code that is control panel, it's actually a lot more, from a dev perspective, the cost is higher to go in and try to update the control panel than it was to, you know, do the settings app. Plus all of the modern updates we're making into Windows 10, as well as our work to try to make Windows a little bit more modular. All of that had to happen outside, like control panel just couldn't support those things, so.
I'm typing this out, but I'm actually going to verbalize this. Chronic Links said, has anyone noticed how slow right-clicking an edge is, like rapidly right-clicking? I'm not really sure why you would rapidly right-click. It doesn't unlock any hidden features of Windows or anything. But
We don't do Easter eggs anymore.
yeah, right-clicking once pops out the right-click menu. Right-clicking again closes it. So I don't know if you're expecting it to keep reopening it every time you click, but it'll open and then close. So every second click does the opposite action. So it's open, close, open, close, open, close. So it probably makes it feel slow as opposed to just continuously redrawing the right-click menu every time you click it. That was intentionally designed that way. But if there's a specific feature of you doing something in Windows that requires you to randomly right-click an edge repeatedly, I would love to know what it is because I have never heard of such a thing before.
We do have a little bit of feedback about
Right-click in the address bar.
context menu speed, like UWP context menu speed. It actually came from Japanese insiders, so I don't know if there are any Japanese insiders in the house. It's pretty late for you guys. But our ask is like, do you think it's, is there actually something wrong with the performance? Like for some reason like the system is being really slow, or would you just prefer the animation to be faster? Or would you prefer there not to be an animation? Getting a trace of launching the context menu, if you consistently feel like it's not meeting your speed expectations, is really helpful in terms of taking action on the feedback.
Yep. Somebody said right-clicking in the address bar in Edge takes a long time to render the right click. I just reproed that. That is absolutely good feedback. Like it's noticeable and like how long, because it like highlights the web address, but then it takes a moment and then it goes and drops down the right-click menu. Like that's absolutely great feedback. I know Kyle has stepped out of the chat, but I will make sure he gets that feedback. If you have a feedback link, especially if you can use repro mode, so we can capture how long it's actually taking to draw the right-click menu, that would be great. So if you could do that, if you don't have one yet, do that with repro mode, and then drop the link in here, and I will make sure that Kyle gets that. It's not clear if an animation is simply being slow or if there's something wrong that's preventing it from, or delaying it or whatnot. No, that's super true. Just like that right click in the address bar. I thought it wasn't going to do it, and then it just popped up. Yeah, great feedback.
Someone just mentioned when they right-click on Explorer to rename files, it crashes.
It's a delay.
Can
What
you-
build is that? Yeah, that's a.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you send me a
And then wait.
feedback link for that?
Then it'll-
I will.
I just tried it on that one, and I'm not getting it, so I'm not hitting
So,
that.
if you send the feedback link, we can look
Look
up
how
what
you look
crash you're
now.
actually hitting and try to figure
Like
out
you're not
how many
breathing.
people are hitting it, if there's anything specific that might be causing the crash on your build that is making it not happen on Brandon's build.
That's Jason's.
Jason. my blog titled build. That's funny.
Jason's lyric.
I thought you were gonna go, I mean, I guess, yeah. I'm not gonna go into whatever I was about to say.
Yeah,
Just
n-
take that up.
No, and like Crypt Tricks, it's interesting. I feel like we're picking on an edge, but it's really good feedback. Why does address bar right click appear immediately, but page right click, so just somewhere in the page, does the drop down animation? That's almost like it's a difference in how the design was done. You would think it would be a consistent experience, but you know.
They're working on consistency. I mean,
Yeah.
you see like the design stuff that's just shipped in the build that we just released. Like that's a huge, that's a huge jump to getting to that consistency that people want. So, they're working at it. So.
Now Windows 95 is acting slow.
I missed that one, but that's funny.
That was good.
That's funny.
You can't even pay money to get Windows 95 fixed these days.
Switching keyboard language while typing in a text field in Edge often makes it hang. Again, if you can get a trace of that,
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
Yep.
That's exactly the sort of thing that
Yeah.
we would enjoy getting more details about to help take action on.
For real. There going to be any fixes for the GSOD with Watchdog PNP driver errors occurring over the last 4 builds?
That's a pretty generic, like, there's a whole lot of things that could be causing that.
Yeah. That's one of the things we're having feedback with a repro, so that we can capture the trace of what's actually transpiring.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that could trigger that particular error, but without seeing in the log what's actually failing to cause that, it'd be difficult to sit here and verbally try to diagnose it and tell you, oh yeah, we're gonna fix it. I don't want to sit here and fib to you.
Someone asked about traces and like what's included in the trace.
Yeah.
I think you can actually download the trace that you take and you can.
Yeah.
The Windows diagnostic tool, or that we just actually talked about
Yeah.
in today's
Yeah.
blog
Blog
post,
post.
you can actually go in and look at the telemetry and the logs and things that are being sent to us. You can actually look at that.
You also
which is
keep a
really
local copy of it as well.
Correct.
Yeah. So, Joe, if you could throw the demo thing back up.
Yeah, please.
I'm going to. So next. So, I ran through this feedback. I just created a test one real quick to show if you want to see what's in the diagnostic logs that are being sent back up to us. We're very open and very transparent about the things that we're collecting. When you get to the end of your feedback submission, there's a little checkbox right here that says save a local copy of diagnostics and attachments created. And I believe it saves it over in, there's a folder in I think it's in my documents where it gets saved.
I can't remember. But I bet it's on the web.
Yeah. So you click that and it'll save a copy directly to your drive, and then you can go through and actually pull them up, look through them, review them yourselves, and see, everything that was captured, especially the stuff in the trace if you used the recreate my problem button. Make sure I'm caught up in chat here. Windows 10 black, so dark mode is not always black. Every app has its own. Yeah, the shades of dark mode are different between apps.
50 Shades of Dark.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is.
Whoa, Jason's mom.
This is how I cover your.
Sorry, Mom. Earmuffs. Earmuffs, Mom.
Cut the plug.
She's gonna be like, "What kind of webcast are you doing? You get paid to do this."
I would say, in general, Windows
my goodness.
favors a relatively dark mode.
Yeah.
We do have some tracking feedback in the area from people just saying like, I like it dark, but I prefer it to not be pure black.
Yeah.
To also people saying I'd like light, dark, and kind of a light gray.
Yeah.
That more like what Visual Studio supports. And so I would say, if that's something you feel strongly about, really do upload the feedback. Like we monitor it, we go through with the designers, we work on consistency, and just generally, like, Windows is pretty old, so it can take us some time to update everything. And
yeah, there's a lot of effort to go in and modernize Windows, and so like it's a multi-release process, just like the whole settings app, it's control panel migration, and so.
Your feedback saying that it's important to you
Yeah.
to prioritize over other things, that's important to us.
Yeah, and teams are seeing it. Teams are like now seeing like that dark mode is important. Yeah, I think we have a lot of work to do to kind of get on the same page in terms of what the dark mode looks like in all of our stuff. But
I'm so happy File Explorer has dark mode.
there's
You
a
have
lot
no
of,
idea.
not to get into the behind the scenes here too much in terms of like organization, but we've had some organizational changes, I think, that will allow us to get to that consistency a little bit quicker, which is exciting, so, yeah.
So there was a couple other comments that I've lost them in the scroll here. Sorry, give me a second. I'm going to find them because there was a couple things I wanted to talk about here. Sometimes after clicking done on a quest, the feedback box does not come up. Is this something that gets individually set on each quest, or is it supposed to be universal across all of them?
Sorry, one more time.
I think it's
Done
individually
doesn't-
set.
Done isn't
so
supposed to invoke the feedback though, right?
when we
So when you
create
finish and you click,
quests-
I'm done or whatever,
Yeah.
it gives you that thing on, hey, how was your experience? If you have feedback, and it gives you just this open-ended text box.
I've
For
not
the
seen
Bug
that
Bash?
actually.
You
Yeah.
should be able to click, you should be able to click to get into Feedback Hub, and what the feedback, when you launch that and you go into Feedback Hub,
Yeah.
it will attach, it'll be on the back.
Yes, we're over here.
Invite me to all of these. That's all.
You're welcome anytime you want to be here.
What planet are you on?
That's actually our ringtone for him.
Nikki, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, I'm
sorry.
What I was thinking, so when we create a quest, we have the option of tying the quest to an SIUF, which is basically that rating, like 1 to 5, how useful was it? Or we have the option of just sending you guys straight to a context in the feedback hub.
Okay.
Outside
I
of
see.
the Bug Bash, most quests are tied to the SIUFs.
Okay.
However, inside the Bug Bash, since we really do want to encourage you guys to log feedback that other people can upload, which
Yes.
if you give an SIUF,
Makes sense, makes
only
sense.
you can upload that. I mean, you can't even, it is your singular
Yeah.
vote.
And it's a very specific question versus
Yes.
your generic feedback or specific feedback in a
Yep.
different way.
Yep.
Yeah.
We still, SIUFs are really good because they can give a more balanced feel of how people are thinking about the product, whereas currently in the feedback hub, you can only give suggestions or problems, and it doesn't tell you how many people are just happy versus how many people really want you to invest in improvements. But they both have their benefits.
And that's why I'm super glad to see the 1 to 5 option and the filing bugs and feedback. That's awesome.
For the Bug Bash, at least for me, like, I did a mix of SIUFs and UIFs, if only because some of our features, people may not think it's worthy of logging a real feedback item,
Yeah.
but they may conversationally tell you about how things are going. And so to help encourage comments, I would use an SIUF.
Additionally, one thing we haven't talked about Bug Bash.
Yeah.
One of the goals of the Bug Bash also stamp out all the bugs, find all the issues, give feedback. But it's also to help you guys learn the product. New features come through. You get to get more familiar with Windows and be more productive in your day-to-day tasks.
And that's one of the really cool things about all the quests that show up.
That's right. 'Cause they're
Is
guided.
yeah, the engineering teams take the time to actually kind of prescript out the instructions. Hey, click here, run through this process, test it this way. Some of it's for new features that have just shown up in recent builds
Yeah.
that they need some feedback on. Some of it is, hey, this stuff's been around for a while and we made some changes, so go check it out,
Yeah.
right? And then one of the things that we've gotten feedback on through various webcasts is, hey, some of the quests from Bug Bash, they tend to be super technical or things within the OS that I don't necessarily use.
Yes.
Can we get some quests on some of the basic stuff, right? It's like, hey, go play a video or go launch an app or stuff like that. And it was an interesting piece of feedback because sometimes we get really caught up in kind of the new cool, the new awesomeness that's coming in. And even though we have, gates and tests that we run to make sure some of the, standard functionality works, if you want to call it that, it's nice to get some of that broad validation and insight from users to make sure that we haven't regressed anything and didn't catch it along the way. So you will notice there are some quests of that nature. And then, if in the next Bug Bash, we will have some more of that. I will work with William here and have him write up some more quests along the way to go through and do some of that so that make sure that, hey, we're not missing anything that's super important to you.
You learn about new apps too.
Yeah.
Learn about the Paint for Kids app, which is actually pretty cool. It's for adults as well, I must say that. About 30 minutes yesterday.
There was a question about, because we were talking about the logs earlier, how complex are the logs though? Is it easily parsed by a layman? I will say it depends on what you logged, but the majority of it's not just going to be like the problem was, and it's just going to prescriptively call it out. You do need, in general, to have some technical readability of that type of stuff to be able to parse through and see exactly what's going on.
It's like, ETL traces, which is just like a series of events.
Yeah. It'll just tell you the order that stuff was happening, and then it'll be like, oh, error, right? So you'll get some guidance, but you will have to have some, kind of like technical knowledge to be able to say, oh, it appears that this driver was crashing or this process failed, things like that. So it never hurts to give it a shot, and if you have something that you have a log that you're having trouble parsing through, drop it on OneDrive and send us a link on Twitter or something, and we'll try to help you parse through it and be like, hey, this is kind of help you highlight what it was actually taking place.
Someone else asked how we analyze the SIUFs, given that other people can't upvote them, and so inherently there are tons of SIUFs that are all single vote things.
Yep.
Basically, we have a bunch of dashboards. With the SIUF, there is some variance, but like the standard type, you do have the 1 to 5 rating, so we can kind of look at who really liked it, what they liked about it, who didn't like it, what went wrong there, and we can do we use AI ML to like help cluster the different pieces of sentiment and the topics and like what drives to the top and what we should work on. We can also just individually like search for how many people are reporting a specific issue, and oftentimes then like I can do it across I'll do it across UIFs, SIUFs, uninstalled comments, and just be like, how big of a problem is this really? Like, how loud are people being? Is there something getting tucked in the wrong place? And we have alerting systems that when something's quiet and then it suddenly spikes with a bunch of people reporting an issue, like we'll go and investigate it as well to see if something regressed.
Yep. Kind of a random side question. Are we going to be impacted by all the construction that's happening on campus? Yeah. Not necessarily right this moment, like because the building that we sit in hasn't been changed. For broader context, there's where Microsoft's big campus here in Redmond's undergoing some revamping, right? Some old buildings are being torn down. There's some new buildings going up. All that kind of stuff is going to be a multi-year project. The particular building that we are in right now is not affected currently. I'm sure at some point it'll get kind of a facelift, makeover, and all that kind of fun stuff. But for the time being, we're not affected. Jen is Studio X, is it? It's not yet.
Actually,
even though you might want it to be.
You guys went through an internal redesign, right?
So
the big sigh.
Because SX is not the sexiest building on campus. They did recently they took some time to actually add a little market. So we now actually can get random snacks and good food that's not just out of a vending machine.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate.
You have food trucks too, right?
I don't know that I would advertise that as a positive, but
I will say
Hey, come do the food
I would say I'm really close to the comments.
Yeah.
I actually usually make my lunch. I like being able to portion how much I'm eating, and I find if I go out to eat, I'll just be like, raw food!
This is high quality.
Randall's just...
So,
You okay, Randall?
I'm good. I'm just like noise.
so that we're actually at the bottom of the hour. So we're running low on time, but there's a few more questions I'm going to tackle here before we hop out. How does the feedback from surveys work? I usually write a couple paragraphs and don't know what you do with them. We
I
read
just
them.
covered that.
Oh, did I miss that somewhere in all of that?
Do you not listen to what I say?
I was listening, but I was reading at the same time, which I don't think my brain was alternating back and forth fast enough. That whole one thing at a time thing. So Jenna answered your question. But to put a separate spin on it, if it was an insider specific survey like the one we sent out in January, that's like, hey, tell us what you think about the program and all that kind of stuff, we absolutely read it. We read all of them, all paragraphs from everybody that submits it, and then we kind of aggregate and get sentiment and things like that. It's super duper helpful and helps us decide what we're doing with the program as we move forward.
Do you have a quick second for another demo?
Yeah, what you got?
So the Feedback Hub, Neil just asked if they can filter feedback by feedback on their build.
Yeah, of course.
And actually, it's been a feature
Yep.
for a little while.
Yep.
The filter button is an unusual drop down. It is.
It's not necessarily intuitive. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I use it all the time.
You good? Okay, cool. Yeah, so you come to Feedback Hub, right? You're on your home page. So go click Feedback, and then right here you'll see Filter. Click the drop down, and then the very top one right here, it says My Build. You click it. And then, of course, as an insider, you won't see internal feedback, so you would see, like, insider feedback, right? So give it a second, you'll see the spinny dots, and then, bam, it refreshes, and there you go. So this is all feedback that has been submitted or upvoted on your build.
Sorry, I love that bug. It's got twice enough.
Jen is getting excited because people are upvoting her bug. So
Actually, it's a feature request.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
And what's funny, we've been talking about dark mode, and it's too dark. It's actually the number 2 thing on this list. So hey, people are agreeing.
This is the trending feedback.
Yep.
So you see the overall vote, but the fact that it's trending doesn't.
Yeah, so any of these things you can filter by. So if you don't want to see just trending, you can see the most recent stuff. You can see the number of upvotes, right? So if you haven't poked around in the Feedback Hub, click everything. If you can click it, if it's on your screen, it's obviously not off limits. So give it a shot and see if there's something you may have not seen before. There's no way I'm going to get through all the questions that are in here, but as usual, I will try to kind of collate some more of these. And then answer them on Twitter. We can tag team them or whatnot. Do I have a fully unlocked version of the Feedback Hub? Yes, I get to see a lot of stuff that you all do not get to see, like triage and response and advanced diagnostics. That is not on the insider.
We have walked through, in one
Yeah.
of the previous webcasts, we actually walked you guys
October of last year. How I remember that, I'm not sure, but yes.
It's okay. I remember, actually, for the Bug Bash, I was looking through my user dictionary, which is a feature that they added to privacy settings during RS4. And in my user dictionary, the first 200 items are all build numbers. It's just that's my life. That is definitely a summary of the things I copy and type and copy and type and type and copy and copy and type.
That's funny.
Same with my clipboard history. It's when V brings up the history manager if you're before it, and it's just build numbers.
That's good stuff.
Anything else before we go?
My goodness, this is what's interesting is Bug Bash stuff. Again, I apologize for the flickering stuff. I know it's been kind of frustrating to deal with that today, but thank you for bearing through this with us.
Just some few little side notes. Real
Yes.
quick. The MVPs, we've highlighted about I think 10 or 11 MVPs on the Insider's website. And kind of the specialty areas on Windows. So feel free to go visit that page under Community MVP or Champions. It has their area of expertise. It has their contact handles of how they prefer to communicate. So if you have a specific question for someone with the edge, Kyle that joined the conversation today, he's on there. We'll add to the database of champs as we see that communication and interaction is happening with you guys. We're asking you to use the hashtag WhipChamp so we can kind of all track and see what's happening and what kind of traffic is coming from there and how we can better utilize that for you guys. We are planning on launching a new badge for RS5
Uh-oh.
to encourage some new flighting. So there's some metrics behind that, and working on getting those in the feedback hub in the next few weeks. So be on the lookout for some new flight badges.
And is that something we can announce in the blog post when that stuff goes live?
Yeah, but
Perfect.
it's not. We're working on the dev side right now of it, but
Yeah.
it's created. We hope to launch in the next few weeks, so I'll share that with our Brandon so we can make sure that's highlighted. There'll be a few other badges that will slowly roll out within the next few weeks to the next month.
And am I finally getting my super secret badge that I've been begging for a while?
What's the super secret one?
My sleuth badge, the bug helper badge. We'll talk about it after the fact.
I got Brandon's badge, monster badge.
Build Monster.
The build monster's coming
People
out.
wanted
Oh,
the
that's
Build
awesome.
Monster badge.
Yeah. Taco hat.
Yeah.
Hey,
So you have, So anyways, that'll be released. We'll make it retroactive to RS5 just in case you've already had some RS5 builds and it hasn't been released yet. So that's
Yep.
exciting. If you guys have other badge ideas that you want to see, my Twitter handle's on the MVP champ page as well. Go ahead and let me know there, and we'll kind of stockpile it. And like I said, this is an evolving program, so it'll continue. So
Cool.
Awesome.
yeah, those are my 2 plugs.
All right. So we're gonna wrap here. Like I said, I will take a bunch of the questions we didn't get to. We will get those answered as best we can. But I don't want to shut down the fun. But parting comments.
Oh.
Bash away, bash away.
Oh, and you guys, yes, there's some comments on the April ship update badge. We've pulled the data. There's several hundreds of thousands. There obviously is some bugs, so I'm actually meeting this afternoon on the data to see where some of the inaccuracies came. So be on the lookout. I think we have almost 500,000 that were shipped out.
Yeah,
I don't know what that.
I don't have mine yet.
And Jen doesn't
Nikki.
have one yet either. So we are working on it. But thanks for the feedback, and yay, Dakota does have one. So perfect. That's the first time I've heard. So yes, someone's
Working.
I
got it.
need my
Yes, we're
perfect
working on
set
it.
of badges.
Cool.
I'm just saying, gotta catch them all.
Yep.
Parting comments, Brandon. Jen.
I'm really hungry.
Yeah. Lunch is forthcoming.
Do we have lunch at
We have
noon?
lunch. We have
Well,
lunch.
What do we have
Anything?
for lunch at noon?
Just sitting back and enjoying the show.
Yeah.
All right. Joe,
Done with
I
this.
don't want to leave you out, man.
I'm good.
Anything good?
I'm good. Thanks, everybody.
Yes. All right.
Can
So,
I give a real parting comment?
yeah, of course. Go for it.
Please don't just sit and simmer on your feedback. Please actually log it in the feedback hub. I have my teams coming to me and be like, what are they saying? What are they saying? And sometimes I can give them a whole spew of stuff, and sometimes I'm like, they're not saying anything. But over here, they seem like they don't really like it. So we really do, I meet with my team every single morning to talk about what's going on with feedback and to make sure we're working on stuff as quickly as possible and planning. So.
Yes, the number of upvotes matters. It helps to prioritize.
Yep.
Someone has a gazillion upvotes, we'll go and fix it.
Absolutely. Cool. All right. Well, with that, we'll wrap up. Next month's webcast. Well, do not push that button right now. I'm going to unplug. You cannot send out a build. 2 builds within 2 hours. That would be disastrous.
Exciting.
No.
Exciting.
Your version of exciting does not match my version of exciting.
Life in the canary ring.
Oh gosh. Next month's webcast, we will have that in the newsletter when it goes out. Obviously, we'll send out some notifications to the answers forum and Twitter and all that kind of fun stuff. So stay tuned for that. But any questions along the way, again, ping any of us on Twitter. I'll check the questions here, but we will do our best to get all that stuff answered and taken care of. So happy bug bashing. Enjoy the quest. Send your
Thanks, guys.
feedback. Make sure that you enter into the visit the campus contest if you would like to do that. And on that note, we're out. So, thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you next time.
It hasn't happened yet. It
Hasn't
hasn't
happened
happened.
yet.